Hey, what's going on, good people? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of JT Corn Rings, where I talk corn rings and all things precious metals. How are you doing today? I thank you for everyone who's in the live chat right now, who had was gracious enough to answer the question that my title posed. Doesn't matter to you where your gold comes from. And I'm going to go ahead and read some of those right off the bat. We go right into it because this is an important question, especially those who stack silver and gold and other precious metals. I think it's very important, right? So let's go through some of these questions. Um, William E. came straight in. That's a great question. Um, Count Trumpla stated that actually, yes, it does matter, right? Then he came off and stated that if you understand the blood diamond industry, you can understand pretty much every other industry. The fat cats don't care about you, yet, wait for it, the Pied Piper comes and the fat cats fall. Most definitely. I thank you so much for that comment. And Mars, thanks for coming in. He said, same mining operations are horrible, pretty much. We got David Carlisle in the house. Hey, David, how you feeling? We also have Rockamaz. Rockamaz, how you doing? And Marshall Vincent and Starika. One round of applause. And we got our friend OC Stacker. A round of applause for all of y'all. Thank you all for joining me today. This is going to be a live stream, just answering the questions and going over some things that I found while surfing the net. Okay, but this question kind of baffled me because it made me think about it in a whole nother light. Because when we're stacking, we're looking for the best possible ways to get our silver and gold. Okay, we are looking for ways in the most cost effective way to put into our stack. And I don't think that at all, maybe we don't think about where it's coming from. If it comes initially from a reputable dealer, like if we buy it from an APMEX, a SD Bullion, a JM Bullion, we don't think about, okay, where do they get it from? You know, we don't think about that. We know that there are some mines, silver, gold, and other precious metals mines here in the United States. We actively do have some. We know that we also get our gold from other parts of the world. But do we really sit down and think about exactly all the gold? Where does it come from? And as I showed some of the comments earlier on, some people know exactly where I'm going. So I appreciate that. All right. Let me go right to the question. Once again, does it matter to you where your gold comes from? Before I go on any further, people, I would like to make sure that I follow the instructions. When I share anything on the channel, I have to make sure that I put the copyright information out. So let me go and do that. And as I'm doing that, I want you all to think, put into the chat, does it really matter where your gold comes from? Does it matter? Let me know that, okay? All right, so let's do this. Let me go ahead and add this disclaimer because I am going to share some copyright material. So I'll be back right after this.
Disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Yes, here we go. So the thing is this. Now, with one of the comments that I see here, I have a simple answer to the tariff: buy American, right? As President Trump has stated, drill, baby, drill, mine, baby, mine. Allow that gold to come from somewhere that you know that is safe practices, that you know that is legal. So you can have your conscience is clear. Basically, your conscience will be clear knowing that you buying your gold from a place where it's not exploiting any labor. So I'm gonna go right into it. I was watching the internet as I do on a daily basis, and I stumbled across this information about smuggling gold. So you may have seen this as well. I'm gonna share with you a couple clips from this NBC special that talks about this very topic. Okay, all right. So let me go ahead and get that up to you right now. And after I put these clips in, I want to have a conversation. And if anyone has anything to say or would like to come up and talk about it, I can put that link in the description and we can have a small dialogue for a couple minutes. If you would like, you let me know by putting the one in the chat. If you'd like to come up, I'll put that link in. But let's do this first. Let's go to one of the first clips that I want to share. So this is what we're going to do. All right, here we go.
Customers know if their gold is properly sourced. The London Bullion Market Association, a UK-based trade association, has become the global standard for gold refineries around the world, maintaining a list of 65 gold refineries worldwide that have proven to source gold legally.
Our standard has become the de facto global standard for gold refineries and silver refineries around the world.
But experts say, despite that seal of approval, consumers, companies, and the entire supply chain need to be hyper aware of where their gold is sourced.
I think we all have a responsibility of consumer, because when you buy an iPhone, when you buy a jewelry, I think you have to know where this gold comes from. And if it's not possible, you have to ask. And if the company where you are buying this is not in a position to give you the answer, then it's a red flag.
Anybody that's investing in gold or diamonds for that matter, you should understand that there are places in the world where these commodities are being produced in unethical ways.
So there we have it. So when we get our gold, when we buy it from our reputable online dealers such as APMEX, SD Bullion, JM Bullion, and others, do we take the time out to say, you know what, I wonder where mine or where do they receive their precious metals? Do we even care to ask? To know about their practices? I know that majority of our gold may come from Switzerland, but where did the Swiss banks receive their gold? Okay, as we see that this is a global thing. It's not just happening here in America, because gold just doesn't come here. But it's a question that I wanted to know if anyone asked. Okay, I'm gonna go straight to a comment that David Carlisle just mentioned here. Let me read it out loud. David says, there's no way to tell where gold comes from. For example, some of it may come from ancient Roman times. Some of it may be stolen from the Aztecs and the Spanish. Some of it may have, did he go a little further? So, right, we don't know exactly where, but I can't 100% agree to that, because we know that there's smuggling happening in certain countries. This NBC special talked about what's happening in Ghana, and it was talking about the illegal practices that's happening. They talk about that there are legal companies that basically happen in Ghana. They do have refineries, mines, but there are a group of people, a group of illegal smuggling happening. And I'm gonna pull this up right here. Let's look this up so we can talk straight from what I found in some searches on Google. All right, let me go here. All right, so it has here illegal gold mining in Ghana picked up this year following an almost 30% rise in global gold prices. Despite military operations to shut them down, around 70 to 80% of small mines are unlicensed in the country. And a year so far, they have produced 1.2 million ounces of gold. This is from the BBC. So right then and there, we tell you Ghana's gold rush, a lost billion story, and the promise. So they talked about the attempted smuggling operation of the Kotoka International Airport intercepted a revealing 48 kilograms of gold, value at a thin, like probably $18 million. So we see right there, we know where some of the gold's coming from. Some of that gold's coming from the Gold Coast of Africa. So, and around the world. So when you have operations like this, unfortunately, there we go. My apologies. As we see, we do know where some of the gold's coming from. The gold can be smuggled from places like Africa. And the thing about it, these illegal mines, these operations just don't exploit the human labor. They also make unsafe conditions. I'm going to leave the NBC story where I got this information once this live stream is over in the description, so you can go check it out. They have a name for this illegal act in Ghana, and I don't want to butcher the name, but there's an actual name for this operation. But let me tell you some of the things that happen because of this operation. The mercury that is used to process the gold after digging is being leaked back into the water system. So it's just not taking revenue from the country that could help its people, maybe by giving more jobs, also maybe fixing some of the conditions. This smuggling operation brings millions of dollars to the people operating it, but it's also risking their health. 80% of their water, and this number, hopefully it's not wrong, if I can remember, a large percent of their water is being affected because of this mercury that's entering it, making it unsafe to drink, to bathe, and to cook. So gold, is needed. We need it to store our wealth, but at what cost would we take it if we know that it is obtained through these illegal measures? Okay. We got Joe Minnick inside the house. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Mr. Jeff Welch, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Today we are talking about, does it matter to you where your gold comes from? Does it matter to you where your gold comes from? I'm gonna go ahead and read some more of these chats. Gold is originated from the nova cycles of all stars, including the sun. What? You didn't actually think gold grows on Earth, did you? Most definitely. We understand that. But the mining aspect of this rock, is placed in certain parts of the world, and the digging of it can produce or have unsafe consequences, right? I agree that certain countries should benefit. The smuggling aspect, we know we don't want to deal with the regulations. They don't want to deal with sharing the money. But I think it's something that their government have to consider because of the risk that it gives the people who are there, who are going to be trapped there, who won't have the opportunity to move out to get better, to get paid accordingly, to have the health regulations that's needed. The reason why I bring this up because I wind up investing in the Glint app. And the Glint app states that all of their gold is stored right in the Switzerland banks. And I said, well, cool. We know that it's coming from Switzerland. But this one topic, a part of that was a part of this NBC special, made me think about the Swiss banks. I want to share that right now. Let me know what you think. And thank you so much, Micah, for that comment. Okay. Let me go right there so y'all can check this out. All right. The next clip, we'll talk about what I just mentioned, exactly where it started and where it ended. Okay. Let's go here.
To avoid having gold from the DRC linked to conflict, or I don't know, in Sudan, or for Mali, or for Zimbabwe, the majority of this illegal gold is exported to the UAE. And from the UAE, a large part of it is also exported to Switzerland. And then from Switzerland, we know that a huge part of gold is also exported to the US. But when it's imported in the US, the majority of the importer will just say, oh, it gold from Switzerland, refined in Switzerland. The origin of this gold would just be Switzerland. But this gold, which is sometimes presented as recycled gold, can be gold which was 2 weeks before in a mine controlled by a jihadist group, by a Wagner group, or by other criminals.
Gold exports from Ghana more than doubled between 2012 and 2022, from 243 metric tons to 609 metric tons. The UAE, Switzerland, and India were the top recipients of African gold during that same time period, accounting for 80% of the continent's exports. Historically, about 212,000 metric tons have been mined worldwide, including about 2/3 extracted since 1950. Taken together, that gold could be placed inside a cube measuring around 22 meters long on each side. Gold is a popular material in jewelry and an essential metal that performs critical functions in spacecraft, jet aircraft engines, computers, communications equipment, and other products. It is also held and sought after by central banks around the world.
It's around 20 to 22% of all the gold that's ever been mined is being held in central bank vaults, or central banks own that gold. And so central banks continue to try to diversify away from fiat currencies, in particular the US dollar.
Gold is expected to extend its bull market run as central banks look to purchase more of the yellow metal in the future.
One of the reasons why we remain bullish on it going forward is that we see US debt to GDP is unsustainable and just an insatiable need likely in the future for more quantitative easing. And this debasement of the US dollar is the biggest reason why central banks continue to demand gold at a high level. Despite really gold prices continuing to go up, central banks are big buyers.
I think it's the ultimate insurance policy in an increasingly uncertain world, and is the best insurance policy.
Oh, so there we have it. So we have our reasons why we obtain gold. But as you see here, we know exactly where the gold is being mined, where it's coming from. And if we know places like Ghana has the unsafe conditions, do we go as far to ask our favorite online dealers exactly where did you get your gold from? It doesn't matter that it may come from unsafe conditions. I remember years ago, they had a big thing going with child labor, making clothing overseas. I remember actress and superstars, talk show host Kathy Gilbert, I think her name was, and they criticized her because of her clothing line housed sweatshops, and it was a whole international thing. people had so many things negative to say about the business practice, but cheap labor or free labor is always going to be the moving force of greed, capitalism. So I just wanted to ask a simple question. I just wanted to ask a simple question. Does it matter to you where your gold comes from? Especially if you've got an inkling or maybe a thought that it may have came from smuggling. It could have exploited child labor. It could also be one of the main reasons that the people from a country could eat, receive any money, but the byproduct of doing that may have caused that water to be damaged because of the mercury. It's probably a little too heavy for anyone to think about or even care about, but it's just something to think about. Exactly, because as we see, gold right now is around $2,756.70. And we know that it's an all-time high. We may hit 3,000 in 2025. We may hit $3,000 an ounce. And it's a great way for us to store our wealth, protect our wealth as insurance. And as I was making my goal of 2025 to gain more gold in my stack, it just made me think, would I want to stack it if the person I was buying it from knew it was coming from unsavory conditions and people who were being exploited that was mining it, they just accepted it. And I don't know. It just made me think. It made me think. So anyway, let me go into the chat. Let me see here. Jeff Welch, how you doing, Jeff? He says, when you watch a show like Gold Rush, they seem not to use mercury, or are they just not showing that part? That's a good question. I'm so not clear on the whole process that's being done. Based off this documentary or this special for NBC, the miners in Ghana was using mercury. But this wasn't a refinery. It was not the actual mining crew that was sanctioned to do so. So it was basically people who lived in the country who were probably working to receive money, to sell what they found. Galamasy is what they call it. It's something like galamasy or gamacy is what they call the illegal action of mining. And I'm sure it's a good way to feed your family. And the byproduct of it is just, the labor, the working conditions, and you destroying your water supply. Is it worth it? Does it matter to you where your gold come from if you knew it came from those practices? That's just a simple question, right? Simple question. But that's something that I need to look in, Jeff. But thanks for that question. Okay. Jeff Welch also said, I have always tried to be a moral person with a conscience, but there is only so much we can do. You hit the nail on the head. It's only so much we can do. And the thing is, you hope that wherever you buying it from, you're not buying it from a person on the street that that stole it. You're not buying it from someone committed a crime. So in your thoughts, you're thinking, hey, I'm doing everything possible. I'm paying my taxes on it. I'm storing it. I got it from a reputable dealer. Your hands are wiped clean on the whole matter. So I understand that. I definitely understand that. BH Customs, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. That will definitely help me in my endeavors of the channel. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for those who supported the super chat. Thank you, BH Customs. So guys, that was my question. Wasn't for one to be a long live stream, but I thought it was important. If we have anybody who want to come up to talk about a point that was being made, I would love you to come up. Please don't hesitate. We can get you on for a second. But there are places that are legal here in the United States. We do have gold mines. We do have gold mines here in the United States. So there are mines that we can get our gold from, that we know that it's going to be safe measures, that there's going to be regulations. You won't have child labor. They will not be destroying the waterways, like we've seen in this documentary of the NBC special. So we can rest assured that our gold is coming from a safe spot, a safe place. Okay. So it just made me think. It made me think, and I wanted to pose this question to everyone who's in the live stream. Does it matter to you where your gold came from? You know, let me go back into the questions. Okay. It says, Jeff Welch says, there's some big gold mining starting up in Beatty, Nevada. The town is starting to boom. I heard about that. Let me pull this up, information that I found up as well, up on the line. Here we go. Let me find that, because I did see some information about gold mines here in the United States. Let's do that. All right. Let me find it. So I appreciate everyone who was leaving a comment. If you'd like to come up, I did put the link. Let's talk about what you've seen today. If you have any more information about the gold mines here in the United States, and just tell me your thoughts on the gold smuggling that's in Ghana that's happening. That happened is last year. We had some recent news. So let me find this article. It says here, why is gold booming, causing a surge? Gold smuggling in Ghana. Okay, here we go. Let's share this. So it's asked the question here, are there still active gold mines in California? Okay, we just learned from Jeff Welch. There's a reason why Nevada is booming, because the gold mines that were found there. And it talked about the early days in 1848 when James Marshall discovered the gold at Sutter's Mill in Coloma in 1848. It would change the world forever. And the golden legacy still lives on in California to this day. So you remember that the gold, the 49ers, the Golden State still hosts more than 5,000 active placer mining claims, and hosts at the first and second most active mining countries in the nation, or counties in the nation. Up until 1865, California was the nation's leader in gold production, with more than 100 million ounces of gold being pulled from across the state. I did not know this. So the state richest and most well-known mining district was Grass Valley the mining district, which hosted the bountiful Empire Star Mine and the recently controversial Idaho Maryland mine. In their times of operation, which lasted for over a century, Empire Mine would yield 130 million, and Idaho Maryland would yield 70 million. I guess that worth of gold. So yes, we still have active mines in the United States. That's that question. That 200 million in gold production from just two mines would account for 2/3 of the district's total production of 300 million. Nevada County officials reject Grass Valley mine reopening. Okay, so this is the time of this article. Let me see. This article was in 2020, February 2024. So here we go. We're talking about the Nevada. Okay, so the words. Let me see what that information. I just went past it. All right. So it says a historic Bay Area estate and how it was built by Nevada County Mining. So this little article goes on. It talks about that information about the mining in Nevada. Nevada County officials reject Grass Valley mining and reopening. Early California gold mining occurred at a time when the ounce of gold in 1833 was $18.93. I wish that was today. And peaked at a federal limit of around $35 an ounce. As of February 2024, at that time, gold was $2,029.40. Today, there are gold mines operating across California in different capacities and operational styles. So I just wanted to basically run this across that. Yes, Nevada is definitely a place that mines are still active, and there's some other mines active in the United States as well. So as long as our online dealers or people we buying our gold from that we trust are getting them from good places, we can rest, our conscience can rest that we are buying our gold and our silver from a reputable dealer who is not buying it from a smuggling activities. But does it even matter to you if you're getting gold? Because I have some friends that are from Ghana, and I won't say their name because they may be watching one day, but they do get gold. They have beautiful gold jewelry, and they never talked about the illegal smuggling. They do get some of their gold made like personalized, just like how I make my gold coin rings or my silver coin rings. They get gold jewelry made. They never talked about price, but learning this about the smuggling, would they care if they can get a cheaper product, but still a quality product if it's real gold, right? Would they care where they got it from? If it was legal activity or illegal activity? You know, would they care? I don't know. Okay, guys. BH Custom states that the Arizona desert and California rivers is where I get all my gold from. See, it's still places that you can mine, which I think is pretty cool. I love that fact. Like our friends like Mentally Corrupted, he has a mining channel. He talks about mining dirt that he gets, and he goes through the process of grabbing the gold from it, and he gets a couple grams of gold, which is worth money, right? I think it's a pretty cool thing to watch. I still have a lot to learn about it, but you can go out to certain places like BH just stated and get your gold. Okay. OC Stacker asks, how big is your operation, BH Customs? Just a pan of water or a slush box? That's interesting. I think it's pretty cool to watch everyone pan from gold. Go check out my friend Mentally Corrupted. He has a channel. He talks just about that. He's usually here around this time, but go check his channel out. He talks about that, panning gold, and he gets some gold in his possession. I think it's pretty cool. All right, we got one more clip. This last clip. This is about getting your gold from a legal source. Okay, so here we go.
On the action too, selling as much as $200 million a month in gold bars. The Warehouse Club started selling bullion in late 2023, and prices could go even higher, reaching up to $3,000 an ounce by the end of 2025, according to Goldman Sachs. We traveled to Ghana to find out what impact illegal mining is having in Africa. While legal mining is subject to environmental regulations, that's not the case for illegal mining, locally known in Ghana as galamsey. Ghana's gold exports were expected to reach $10 billion in 2024. Small-scale miners make up about 40% of Ghana's total gold output. About 70 to 80% of small mines are unlicensed.
20% of gold produced around the world is from those small-scale sources, whereas the small-scale mining is often very informal. There is a lot of illegal activity.
Small-scale miners dig shallow holes across acres of land near bodies of water without refilling holes after the gold is extracted. Mercury, often used to extract gold, can leak into the water. More than 60% of Ghana's freshwater sources are contaminated by chemicals and toxins from illegal gold mining.
This is the Butri River. 2 years ago, it was very clean and pristine. And this is the effect of galamsey on our water bodies. It's very devastating.
When you look at Google Earth and you look at a map of Ghana, you will see that a vast majority of the territory is no more green, but it's more brown. So in terms of pollution, not on the different river, but also for the farming, it has been a disastrous impact.
In October, hundreds marched in Ghana's capital, Accra, calling on authorities to end the practice of illegal mining. Yao Mwafo, a small-scale miner operating legally, says he's been in the business for a decade and employs around 24 people. He says his business and those like it are caught in the crosshairs of this fight.
I need the same water to do my business at the site. At the same time, I need it to drink it or bath with it. So why should I go and spoil it before using it?
Ghana temporarily banned small-scale mining in 2017 and has weighed a further ban.
If the government ultimately cracks down and says small-scale mines cannot operate anymore, what does that mean for someone like you?
Let me say this, it has brought out foreign income to the country.
It's become an integral part of the economy.
Yes.
Before being sold to buyers, gold is sent to a refinery, like the Sahara Royal Gold Refinery, where it is weighed, put in large tumblers with acids, and then smelted into bars.
Refining basically means you taking out impurities.
While the price of gold is reaching all-time highs on Africa's so-called Gold Coast, many refineries are laying idle.
And because it's a cash-driven industry, it's difficult to regulate. Participants are, in some cases, dependent on criminal organizations and may inadvertently contribute to terror financing, money laundering, sanctions evasion, or human rights and labor rights abuses.
Undeclared gold is very problematic for several reasons. One, of course, is because no tax can be collected on it. So this will result in significant revenue losses for African states. And undeclared gold is also gold on which no control were made, which means that there is a high risk that this gold has been produced in violation of human rights or the environment.
Yep, so there we go. There we have it, guys. I just wanted to bring that point in, what we talked about from the beginning of the live stream. You know, doesn't matter where your gold comes from. And we see that from this one location, Ghana is practicing, unfortunately, some smuggling. Is it the fault of the people if they need the money, if they need housing, if they need the food? You know, not all, as we see that 60% of their water in that location has been compromised because of the mercury. Which can be hazardous, which is hazardous to their body. So it's just something to think about, guys. I'm gonna go through some more questions. It sounds like Long Live Coins made a mention. Get rid of the mercury and the red tape. I agree with it. I agree. Get rid of the red tape. Allow more legal mining. If the mining is bringing money, which it is, making millions upon millions of dollars, hire qualified people, make it safe conditions, and the environment. Make sure you take care of the environment, okay? All right. I want to answer a question that was inside the chat before we go. Someone asked a question about buying from a pawn shop. If one purchased metals from the pawn shop, what should one look out for? Good question. First of all silver, gold, precious metals should have a hallmark, a mark on the metals to let you know exactly where, what quality or what quantity the gold is. Is the gold 14 karat? Is it 18 karat? Is it 10 karat? You should look out for the weight. You should weigh the metal. You should get the metal tested. If you have a tester, such as some people use the acid or the scratch test, you should know if the metal of the jewelry, is it hollow? Is it solid? You want to see if there are any worn parts on the jewelry. You want to make sure that the clasps are operational. You want to make sure that there are not any kinks and the links. There's so many things you want to look out for. But when it comes down to the purity of the metal, you want to get that checked. You want to make sure that it is what it says it is. And usually jewelry that's made, it has to have a marking. So I will make sure it has that. These are some simple things. If I'm missing anything, please put that in the chat or leave it in the comments. We do have BH Customs in the house. BH Customs will be going live in about 40 minutes. And if there's anyone who is not subscribed to BH Customs, you see some of his wonderful work, go check out my friend BH Customs. He'll be going live in a bit. His link is inside the chat. Thank you, OC Stacker, for putting that in. Appreciate that. All right, we have a question from Mitch Baker. Have you heard that China has already made it easy for their citizens to buy and bank gold? I have not heard that, but if they are, I know places here in the United States are doing the same. Texas is looking to bank gold for those who stack it, and they could also make purchases based off what they have. I have an app called Glint that I just added, and it's because I wanted to have gold and silver, not just in physical form, but it's also a part of it. I want to benefit and I want to spend. Say, for instance, I put maybe $2,000 up. When times get tough, instead of selling my physical, and I may want to spend what I have on my Glint debit card, because if gold goes up or silver goes up, also the money I have on my Glint card goes up as well. So I want to sell this before I sell my stack. I don't want to sell anything from my stack, my silver, and my gold. So this money can be part of my emergency stack. But instead of letting it sit in the bank, this portion, I want it to grow. So that's why I started using Glint. OC agreed that Glint is cool. But I still believe in the old saying, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, guys, thank you. I appreciate you all for coming in today. I think I got all the questions. Oh, let me answer this real quick. Because Mitch asked a question about China, which I think is a good thing. I think that they should allow their citizens, for those who can do it, to invest in gold, to park their fiat, to protect their wealth. So I see nothing wrong with that. Jeff Welch says that China has been having a lot of problems with fake gold and people losing their life savings. Wow. Did not know that. Did not know that. That's a problem. That right there is a problem. That's a problem. If that's the case, that's not cool at all. Definitely got to look into that. Maybe I'll find an article about that and talk about that as well. But thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate you coming. David Carlisle, Sarika, Jeff Welch, OC Stacker, BH Customs, and everyone, Raka Maz, Joseph Lopez. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate y'all guys for coming in. You guys are the superstars. Everyone, I sent out every giveaway from 2024. Everything's already in the mail and coming towards you. So look out for that. I'll be sending y'all the tracking numbers and all. So look out for that as well, okay? I'll be making the T-shirts for my superstars, for my everyone who's my moderator. I'm making them myself. You'll have a JT Coring patch. I'm going to put your name on the shirt just to say thank you guys for rocking with me for the entire year and being great moderators. Y'all got awesome. And look out for the members video. I'll be doing a video. I'm trying to set up an interview for members, but thank you so much for all the members who have joined the channel. And we will be playing Hangman our next live stream, okay, for sure. We'll be doing that, guys. But thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys. You are absolutely wonderful. And guess what? I will see you on the next live stream. Okay, guys? Love you. JT Cornrings. I'm out.
Take pride in your stack and wear it. Johnson Toe is an American craftsman who could take your favorite coin design and create art that you'd be very proud to wear and something very special to share. JT Coin Rings, handcrafts, handmade jewelry, especially for you.